Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're probably going to flip a switch without even thinking about it. Light will instantly flood your room. You'll keep scrolling on your phone, maybe watch videos, maybe stay awake for a few extra hours, and none of it will feel unusual. But for almost all of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun disappeared, the world became almost completely dark. Not dim, not cozy, not the kind of darkness we experience today. Real darkness. The kind where you couldn't even see your own hand clearly in front of your face. No streetlights, no glowing windows, no screens lighting up entire rooms at midnight, just the moon, the stars, and whatever fire humans could keep alive. And modern humans almost never experience darkness like that anymore. Think about that for a second. Every king, every queen, every soldier, every farmer, every child, every human who lived before electricity experienced a version of the night that most people today will never know. For over 300,000 years, every single one of your ancestors spent nearly half their life in darkness. Nearly half, which means the human brain evolved in an environment completely different from the one you live in right now. And strangely enough, that darkness may have shaped human psychology more than we realize. Because before humans controlled fire, nighttime was terrifying. Once the sun went down, humans became vulnerable. Our eyes are actually terrible in the dark compared to predators. Big cats, wolves, hyenas. They could move, hunt, and see almost perfectly at night. Humans couldn't. For most of history, darkness meant danger. It meant uncertainty. It meant listening carefully to every sound beyond the safety of your group. A crack in the bushes, a distant growl, a shadow moving where it shouldn't. In the darkness, you couldn't always see the threat, but the threat could see you. And that's important because for hundreds of thousands of years, the human nervous system learned to treat darkness as a warning signal. Some researchers believe many of our modern fears still carry echoes of that ancient world. The fear of being alone at night, the fear of strange sounds in the dark, the feeling that something is watching us. Logically, we know we're safe, but a much older part of the brain isn't always convinced. And then something changed everything. Fire. At first, fire meant survival, warmth during cold nights, protection from predators, a source of light. But humans didn't just discover warmth when they discovered fire. They discovered extra time. For the first time ever, people could stay awake after sunset without immediately risking death. A campfire created a small circle of safety in the middle of endless darkness. Inside that circle, people were protected. Outside that circle, the night still belonged to danger. And over thousands of years, those extra hours after sunset started changing humanity itself, because once survival was temporarily solved, humans could do something unusual. They could sit, talk, think, imagine. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups noticed something fascinating. During the day, most conversations are practical. Food, hunting, tools, problems, survival. But at night, around the fire, everything changes. People tell stories. They joke. They talk about dreams, spirits, ancestors, distant places, imaginary creatures. In a strange way, the campfire may have been the first theater, the first classroom, the first social network, the first place where humans regularly explored ideas beyond immediate survival. Which might explain something interesting. Almost every civilization on Earth developed traditions of telling stories at night. Not in the morning, not during hard labor. At night, when darkness surrounded people and imagination filled the space that sight could no longer reach. For most of history, humans didn't sleep the way we do now. Today, people think healthy sleep means one uninterrupted block of 8 hours. Go to sleep, stay asleep, wake up. Simple. But historical records from Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia describe something completely different. Humans used to sleep in two separate phases. People would go to sleep shortly after sunset, sleep for several hours, then naturally wake up in the middle of the night, not because something was wrong, because that was normal. They would remain awake for an hour or two, then return to sleep until sunrise. People People even had names for these periods: first sleep and second sleep. Imagine waking up at 2 in the morning and feeling completely calm, not worried, not frustrated, not checking the time every few minutes, just awake. People used those quiet hours to pray, reflect, think, visit neighbors, talk with family, or simply sit quietly with their thoughts. And perhaps that's what sounds most unusual today: being alone with your thoughts. No phone, no notifications, no videos, no endless stream of information, just silence, just darkness, just your own mind. Then modern science discovered something surprising. When researchers removed artificial light from people's lives, their sleep patterns naturally started shifting toward this ancient rhythm again. Without phones, without screens, without electric lighting, the brain slowly drifted back toward the way humans slept for thousands of years, almost as if the body remembered something modern life forgot. And maybe that's the strangest part of all. Humans evolved surrounded by darkness every single night. Darkness shaped our fears, our sleep, our imagination, our conversations, our stories, perhaps even our sense of meaning itself. Yet today, most people almost never experience real darkness anymore. Cities glow all night long. Streetlights erase the stars. Screens stay inches away from our faces. Artificial light extends the day far beyond what the human brain evolved for. For the first time in human history, millions of people can go years without ever seeing true darkness. And nobody really knows what that means for the human mind in the long run. But we do know something interesting. Rates of anxiety, sleep disorders, stress, mental exhaustion have all risen dramatically in the modern world. Of course, darkness isn't the only reason. Modern life is complicated, but perhaps part of the problem is that our environment changed faster than our brains could adapt. Technology transformed the world in a few generations. Evolution takes thousands. Maybe that's why so many people feel overwhelmed. The modern world never stops. The lights never turn off. The information never ends. The brain never truly gets the signal that the day is over, because for hundreds of thousands of years, humans ended their evenings staring into firelight, sitting quietly with other people, surrounded by darkness, surrounded by silence, surrounded by the night. Now many of us end our evenings staring into glowing screens, alone, scrolling endlessly, consuming information until exhaustion finally forces us to sleep. And maybe that's why darkness still fascinates us. Why campfires feel comforting. Why starry skies feel magical. Why power outages sometimes feel strangely peaceful after the initial inconvenience passes. Because somewhere deep inside, the human brain still remembers a world that modern life left behind. A world of firelight, stories, silence, and darkness. The darkness that shaped humanity for hundreds of thousands of years, even if most of us never experience it anymore.